Hey, we are back. Bump by bump rundown.
In the wide world of wiggle, Ruth, George Dr. Funkenstein Clinton here.
And I'm Danny Bedrosian. Happy to come back to you guys. Of course, the show is always sponsored by George's Patreon, patreon.com/George Clinton P-Funk. Every month you can get an unreleased song from the never before heard Funkadelic album, The Last Time Zone. And once we've gone through all those songs, we're going to have some more good stuff for you guys, but we're still in the midst of that fantastic never before heard album right now. You can join at the ground floor. As soon as you join, you'll get the very first one. You didn't miss a thing. You're not going to come in the middle of it. You'll come from the very beginning. That's the kind of service we do for our patrons. And the patrons get these episodes a month ahead of everybody else, which is really special and really cool. You get the one-up. You kind of get an effect from the whole idea where it's you get this music maybe before somebody else. Not all of these albums, not all of these songs are available on stuff that's in print, especially some of these more obscure episodes.
Never came out.
Yeah, sometimes never came out. But in the cases where things that did, they're not the easiest things to find. So in some cases, there might be a few on eBay, and maybe that's it in the world, right?
Right.
So being on the Patreon gets you on the ground floor. You find out about this stuff before anybody else, and you can get there to get that music. Cool. There's a lot of hardcore collectors out there. John Frusciante is a big Northern Soul 45 collector.
But then it actually got me being a fan of the shit myself. I'm actually collecting these
45s.
These 45s and
it's really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And speaking of 45s, our episode today, one of them, the first one, deals with a very old song from the P-Funk canon. Other than stuff by the Parliaments, this is pretty much one of the oldest ones. And it is on OK Records by Ernie Harris, Hold On.
Yeah.
George, tell us about Ernie.
Ernie was one of them dudes. I mean, he was like a teacher, especially to Eddie, Billy, Glenn, all the soul singers. Ernie was a college graduate type of intellectual dude. Plus, he worked in the barbershop with the rest of us talking shit. So he was one of those really informative people. He informed us of a lot of what we were doing just naturally. Ernie sang over in New York with Rosemary McCoy, who wrote a lot of songs for Jackie Wilson's and a lot of the, Johnny Mathis and all that. Yep. She was a songwriter and she loved Ernie. David Sly's manager. He was from David. I think of his name. He was Sly's first manager. He was from Epic Records.
Oh.
He was the president before Clive Davis came.
Yeah. Okay.
And he
Dave Sam.
Something
Dave Sim?
two syllables.
No, it's there's some I know what you're talking about. His name just escapes me.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Say it in the comments if you know. Say it in the comments. I'm sure somebody is.
Yeah, he was Sly's manager.
Yeah.
When he became famous, he was Ernie's manager too, and right at that same time, he was the head of Columbia at that time. Kaepernick.
Yeah, okay.
David
Kaepernick. There you go.
Yeah.
And the Ernie Harris has like a special place in P-Funk lore because, like you said, he was vocally a big influence on a lot of the soul.
Yeah, and he
Hazels and people like that.
And he also helped us put interpretation to a lot of the concept that I was flirting with.
Right.
When I come up with an idea, he usually was one of those archaeology type of dudes that could go back and dig it up. Whatever it was I was talking about before there was an internet, he was one of those dudes you could run something by, and he's gonna have a point of view.
He'll remember it.
Yeah.
He wrote "Headache in My Heart" with you.
Yep.
And
he was really good with words and analyzing other people's style. and giving you the mechanism of what they were doing to achieve, and he could imitate. He was Broadwayish.
Yeah.
He was really good at Broadway, so he could write like anybody once he peeped what they're doing. And so yeah, he and I did that. We did stuff with Jimmy Miller.
Yeah.
You know, when we was working with him, like 60 and 61, before he did Give Me Some Lovin' and with Traffic and all that, and Spencer Davis, Ernie was working with that same crew of people too.
Oh, okay.
So all of them know each other, you know, and it was not unlikely for what Jimmy was able to do with the Rolling Stones. He came from that same clique of Ernie Harris, Gene Red,
Right.
all those people. And Ernie, like I said, Ernie was Cool in the Gang. Even came from all that same set of people.
Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all worked with Gene Red.
Right.
Yeah.
Ed Bland is the arranger and conductor.
Yeah, he was big time CBS.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a big time CBS. That's what I'm saying. David Kaepernick was able to put together the people, the same machine that he put together behind Sly.
Yep.
You know, so the musicians was high caliber Colombian musicians
Right.
and producers.
The production was done by Bobby Gregg, who's a New Jersey guy. He was I think he was in a vocal group first, played drums, and became a producer after.
Okay, I didn't
He was in
know.
like a doo-wop group or something.
Yeah, okay.
White guy from New Jersey.
Yeah.
You know, and he got the production credit. He might even be on the drums.
Probably is.
Um,
Yeah, because I didn't know that band.
Yeah, and it was, you know, it's funny too because that piano intro, you know, that would make me think of Plainfield.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? But I know it
Well,
was
you
a
like I
big
said-
production, but
But you know, David Kaepernick was from Plainfield.
was he?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, even with Ernie when he did Sly,
Yeah.
and you know, he was what you know, what CBS
Right.
turned into.
Right.
He was the beginning of that.
Because I mean, in a lot of ways, the arrangement.
Clive Davis took his place.
Yeah, yeah. In a lot of ways, the arrangement of that is very similar to what you guys ended up doing later on Eddie Hazel's California Dreamin'. It's a real similar
Okay.
kind of Plainfield rock R&B type of
Yeah.
laid back but still kind of menacing at the same time. And
Yeah, like I said, he definitely influenced Eddie with that, being able to sing folk gospel.
yeah, sure.
You know, San Francisco was happening.
Yeah.
He really liked it. What's his name? Lenny Williams.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
You know,
Yep.
Tower of Power.
Right.
And theater singers, Ernie was really versed in that.
That's
So
awesome.
he had you see, Eddie did it a lot.
Yeah.
Glenn did it even more so.
Right. Very theatrical.
You know.
He also sang, and you were the one who told me this, and I always thought it was all just fuzzy on the original Fantasy is Reality. He
Yeah.
has a line in
Yeah,
there, too.
yeah. That's
And there's one line in there that's Ernie,
yeah.
like that's
When
Ernie
you-
right there. I
When
was
you
like,
hear
oh.
you hear that note hitting and it's real pure.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like, okay, we're not just soul and ad-libbing.
Right.
He sang theatrical.
But that one, he's almost more tenor on that song.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, he could all the way up
all the
there.
way up, yeah.
Oh, a real low, like, let me be.
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, Eddie do.
Yeah.
That's straight Ernie.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Did Ernie Harris ever sing that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because
He-
you and Vivian wrote that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sang a lot of Vivian stuff because
Interesting.
we were going to do Burt Bacharach type
Right,
of
right. That's what
thing.
I'm feeling, getting that. Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
so she was writing in that direction, and Ernie could interpret it really what she was doing, and let me know the preciseness of the notes that she was singing
Right.
was the most important thing. That and when Ernie do it, okay, so that's why I let Eddie do. He still was ad libbing, but he knew how to do that character.
Yeah, that's really cool. I would have loved to have heard an Ernie Harris rendition of
It's a real clean version of
Yeah.
what Eddie. You
Yeah.
can still tell Eddie was still soul in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Ernie
sure.
did it just like we call it dry long slow.
Yeah.
He just sung it just like that, and it still sounded like that.
Right, real theatrical.
Yeah.
So yeah, on OK Records, the 45 does exist for those of y'all, especially for the P patrons who are getting their funk pills every month and getting the bump by bumps earlier than everybody else. You may be able to find one of these on eBay or Amazon or something.
It's part of that Northern Soul stuff too.
It is very much an early Northern Soul 45 from New Jersey, New York area, and highly recommended, and a very early piece of P-Funk history, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first part. Our second part is a song by this young lady, Ruth Copeland, and it is a song called "Crying Has Made Me Stronger."
Ruth. Ruth was our version of Janet Joplin.
Absolutely.
She was P-Funk's version of Janet Joplin, and we put her on. She was on tour with Sly Stone when he got married.
That's right.
You know,
With some Funkadelics.
with the Funkadelic band behind her, Madison Square Garden. That was Holland Dozier Holland was they had just left Motown and they was ready to take over the world on Invictus record and Hot Wax with the Honeycombs and ourselves. Ruth Copeland was the leader of the pack. Well, the chairman of the board really was the leader of the pack.
Sure.
Then give him just a little more time.
Yep.
They blew up and gave us what's the name of Frida Payne.
Yeah, Band of Gold.
Band of Gold.
Was that on Invictus? Was Band of Gold on
Yeah,
Invictus? That must have been a massive.
Oh, that was right. Band of Gold and chairman of the board.
Yeah, chairman of the board.
That's why they
Skin I'm In and that stuff.
They wanted her and ourselves to be, like Beatles. Yeah, they was coming out of Motown and ready to take over the world.
Right.
And they had an A&R guy who set it up really close to being able to do that. He was really good. But Ruth was his main artist. Like I said, he got her all the way to, open up for Sly Stone at Madison Square Garden.
It's a big deal.
That was a big deal.
Yeah.
And that song, she was funky.
Yeah.
I mean, she was definitely funky.
Yeah, definitely. And for those who aren't initiated but do know the P-Funk catalog, you don't have to have these Ruth Copeland albums to know her work. She's all over Osmium by Parliament. Mm-hmm. All over that record. She's a big influence on that record.
Right.
But on Crying Has Made Me Stronger, Ruth Copeland on lead vocals, Ruth Copeland and the Choraleers on backup vocals, Bernie on piano, Billy Bass on bass, Tiki Fullwood on drums, and Ray Manette, Ron Bykowski, and Eddie on guitars. 3 guitar parts on that. And it's one of my favorites. It's actually not from this first album. This is Self-Portrait. I just wanted to show her image. And it is from this label. But it's from I Am What I Am, which is the second album. There was a reissue in the 90s that has both albums. You can get that as well and get all her music in one collection. But Crying Has Made Me Stronger is like a ballad. It's really Bernie doing his best Ray Charles.
Yeah.
It's very Ray Charles flavor, but with, a Janis
Joplin
Joplin type of lead, but it's very gospel-y. It's very early R&B with a psychedelic bent, perfect for Funkadelic. And just a really classic song. My band does this. We cover this sometimes. Not all the time, but we've done it in the past. And I'll flip it, like a male version.
Whenever I see Ruth Copeland, I think of Silent Boat Man.
That's a great example. Yeah, because she did her version, and then there's the version on Osmond.
Yeah, and she basically wrote that one.
Yeah. She has writers on it.
Yeah.
Little Old Country Boy, too, right?
Well, we did that one together.
Yeah. Yeah, she co-wrote a lot of stuff with you on there, like Coming Out of the Rain.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, Why Lord, and that stuff. Silent Boatman is a special one, though.
Yeah, I think her family might be from Northern Ireland, and it's got that
bagpipes, acoustic guitar.
Yeah, and that's Jeffrey Bourne, her
singing lead.
That's her ex-husband.
I know. And he produced The Temptations, for those who don't know, after Whitfield, right?
Yeah,
after
right.
Whitfield left, Bowen was the guy. Shaky Ground was Bowen.
Shaky Ground.
Which features...
A lot of the chairman of the board stuff, too.
Right. Some stuff that featured Billy and sometimes Bernie and
Yeah,
Eddie.
yeah.
So a real connection, real P-Funk connection there. He was a producer, worked in Detroit forever. So Crying Has Made Me Stronger. Highly recommended. This is highly recommended P-Funk. And I think some diehards who think they know the catalog but only know, like, you know, the main Parliament and Funkadelic albums, or even the Bootsy stuff, they're missing out by not knowing this stuff. Especially for the heads who wish there was more stuff from the early Funkadelic period. Like them first 3 albums and Osmium. The people who are clamoring for more music like that, all of those mugs are on these Ruth Copeland albums.
Yep.
If you love that Osmium era flavor like I do, these are great to satiate that high, to get that. This is the morphine for that heroin, you know.
Yeah.
Or the what is it? The not the morphine.
That dope.
Yeah, that's just the dope for the dope. Really highly recommended P-Funk. Definitely highly recommended. And so this has been a bump by bump rundown. Again, like, follow, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you know when new videos are available. We're doing these every month. But you can get them way before everybody else in a special email if you join George's Patreon. Patreon.com/GeorgeClintonPfunk, where we're giving away free song every month from the unreleased Funkadelic album, Last Time Zone. And we're going to be coming back to you each and every month with more of these bump by bumps. You've been bumped. I'm Danny Bedrosian.
George Dr. Funkenstein Clinton, The Wide World of Wiggle.
And we'll see you next time.
Ruth.